So in the previous session, we have discussed about objects. How can we define the objects in JavaScript? And how can we manage the elements inside this JavaScript we have discussed in the previous session. Now, in today's session, we are going to discuss about functions. We are going to discuss about functions. So now this feature already you know as part of your Apex programming. In Apex programming, we have discussed about a concept called as subprograms. In these subprograms, we have discussed about the concepts called as procedures and functions. Procedures and functions. Now, this same subprograms feature will be called as functions in JavaScript. So, in Apex programming, whatever the subprograms features that we have, that subprogram feature is nothing but functions in JavaScript. Now, then what exactly a JavaScript function and how can we use this JavaScript functions? We'll see with the practical use case. Now, let's see. So basically, function is nothing but a small piece of reusable code. Function is nothing but a small piece of reusable code. So whenever we are implementing our own business logics, whatever the business logics that we need, this business logics we are dividing into various small pieces that each piece is called as a function. Now, so now as part of this function, each function contains one or more number of statements. Each function contains one or more statements which can be used to perform the required operation. In order to perform the required operations, okay, whatever the features are required, whatever the statements are required, all those statements we are going to be writing inside the function, and then we can able to use that function to perform the required operations. Now, so in this case, these are for what? JavaScript functions will be holding the statements to perform the client-side operations. In order to perform some client-side operations, which will be executing within the browser, then we are using the help of JavaScript functions. So by using this JavaScript functions, we can perform the operations inside your browser. Now, let's see how can we do that here. How to define JavaScript functions? What is the syntax? Now let me explain. Let me give you that, okay, note points over here. Then I will give you the syntax. Function contains one or more statements which can be used to perform the actions in the client side. In the client side. That is, to perform the operations in the browser level, we can use JavaScript functions. Now, by using JavaScript functions, we can perform complex validations and complex business logics in the application. Now, functions are used to make the code more reusable. In order to make that code more reusable, we can use the help of functions. Then, once the functions has been prepared, then we can invoke the functions from the client side based on the events. For example, button click, button clicks also, now on change, now on blur, like that here. Okay, depends upon the requirement, we can able to perform the operations as well. Depends upon the events, we can able to perform the operations by using this JavaScript functions. Then how can we define this a JavaScript function? What is the syntax we used to follow? Now let's see with the practical use case. We'll see the practical concept over here. How can we define this a JavaScript function? Whenever we are defining the JavaScript function, there are three syntaxes are available here. Let me explain the syntaxes one by one. First is syntax. Now, syntax one. Now we can specify the keyword function and the function name. If required, we can pass the parameters. And here we can write the business logic. Write the business logic. Whatever the business logic that you want, we can write this business logic. So function, function name, and the parameters over here. If you want, we can pass the parameters, and then we can write the business logic. This is the first syntax. This is the first syntax here, where we have to specify the keyword function and then specify that function name. With what name you want to create the function, we can specify the function name and then use the parameters. If you want to pass any parameters, then we can pass the parameters also. This is the first syntax. Second one, syntax 2, second syntax. Here in this case, we can define constant, a variable name, okay, variable name equals to function, and here we can specify the parameters. And here we can write the business logic. Now, that means what here, in this approach, what will happen whenever we are calling the function, that means here, whatever the function business logic that you want, we can write the business logic inside the block over here. If you want to pass some parameters, we can pass. In that case, once a function has been getting executed, whatever the result has been returned, those results will be storing inside this variable automatically. It will be storing the result inside this variable automatically. Now, how can we invoke this function here? Whenever we are calling the variable name, automatically function will be executed. If you want to pass the parameters, then we have to use a variable name. In the braces, we have to pass parameters over there. How to call, I will show you with practical. Now, this is the second syntax. Syntax 3. This is called as arrow functions. Arrow functions. In this case, how can we define these arrow functions? Now, let me explain. Here we can specify the constant, variable name, and then we can specify equals to. If you want, we can pass the parameters. Parameters. So now, whatever the result has been returned, we can specify the arrow. Here we can specify that business logic. Write the business logic, whatever you want. Now, so these are the three syntaxes are available as part of your JavaScript. So whenever we are preparing a function in JavaScript, these are the three different syntaxes are available. So this is the just syntax here which we used to follow. This is the function which will be returning the result in the form of a variable over here. This is called as arrow function. So we can specify a constant variable here, and then we can pass the parameters. Whatever the values we have supplied, based on the values, it will execute this functionality. It will be storing the result inside this variable over here. Now, these are the three syntaxes are available. How can we use them? Now, let's see practically. Each syntax I will show with an example here. Then how can we do this? Now, let's see practically. Now, the first syntax. I'm going to my Visual Studio Code editor. Let me run this. Okay, live server. Let me go to the browser console. Now, let's see. So now here, let me show you that each and every syntax. First is syntax. What is the syntax over here? We have to specify the keyword function, function name. If requires, we can pass the parameters. And here we can write that piece of code. Write the business logic. There is a syntax. So we have to define a function by using the keyword function. So now this keyword is indicating it's a JavaScript function. This is the name of the function with what you are going to create. If required, because I have specified the things in that square braces. Square braces means optional. Now, if you want, we can pass the parameters. If you don't want, leave it, no issues. And then whenever we are calling this a function, it will be invoking this business logic, whatever we have prepared inside the block. So each and every function will be getting called by using the function name directly. With the help of the function name, we can invoke. Then how can we do that? Okay, we'll see. So now how to prepare the function? Now let me show you with the practical use case. First one, I want to write some business logic over here. Like I would like to execute that functions, okay, which is a non-parameterized, parameterized. Both I will show you with the practical use cases. Now, Let's see. How can we do this here? Now let me show you with the practical use case. I would like to prepare a small JavaScript function. Okay, I would like to prepare a small JavaScript function. So now, which is used to write some small business logic to be used to represent the results. Now, let's see in this case here. How can we do that? Okay, now let me show you with the practical use case. I would like to prepare a JavaScript function to show simply a small message. For that one, what we can do, we can use the keyword function. Function, I'm giving the function name as show message. Show message function. I'm writing the business logic. How can we write console.log? Console.log. This is my first JavaScript function. This is my first JavaScript function here. Now, so in this case, I'm just preparing a function which is a non-parameterized. No parameters available over here. In this case, what we can do, function, the function name, just to open the braces and close the braces. See, this function is not returning anything here. That's what return type will be always void over here. Now we can specify console.log. Now, console.log over here. Now console.log. I would like to write some browser message over here. I want to represent some browser message. Then how can we do that? Okay, we'll see. How can we do that? We'll see this one now. Now, so now here I would like to prepare this JavaScript function over here. So now I have written some simple message which should be visible on the browser console. Then how can we call this function? In order to call the function directly, we can use the function name. Whatever the function name that you have specified, simply use the function name here. That's it. Over. Nothing to do. We no need to do that anything here. Just you can able to call the function by using function. Now let's click on Control S. Automatically it will be executed here. Now we can see the result. This is my first JavaScript function. This is my first JavaScript function. So now it is representing the message. Suppose if you want to write some anything, like as if you want to define some variables, conditional statements, iterative statements, arrays, everything we can able to write inside this. Now, for example, I want to prepare one more function here to show some alert message. I'm indicating function show alert message. Show alert message. I would like to represent alert box. Alert box. This is my second JavaScript function. This is my second JavaScript function to show alert message. Then how can we call this function? Now let's see. In that case, I would like to call the function show alert message. Now, whenever I'm executing this piece of code, in this case, what will happen here? It will be executing this a piece of code over here. The whole code will be executed. Now, this particular function will be representing this message in the browser console. And the second function, this function is going to be representing the result in the form of alert box. Let's see. Now it is showing this message over here. Now this is my second JavaScript function to show alert message. Now, in this case, we can able to represent this. Now this is what a normal non-parameterized function. How to prepare a function with the parameters over here? Now let's see. Let me place this code as of now. I don't want this code. I'm placing inside this. Now, next function here. I'm going to preparing this code here. Like for example, function addition. I want to perform the addition operation of some two values. So we can specify the two values over here. How can we pass these two values? First number, comma second number. I'm passing these two values over here. Okay, first number, comma second number. These are the two values are available here. Two parameters I would like to pass. Whatever the values we have supplied, I would like to perform the operation. I want to show the message console.log. Now here I'm using now the addition of dollar first number and sorry, and dollar second number values is I want to show the addition of the both the values. So here I'm indicating dollar symbol. First number plus second number. I'm using this string interpolation. I'm using this string interpolation to do this. Then how can we do this? Okay, we'll see. How can we implement this functionality here? Now, in this case here, now I'm going to be using the string interpolation. In this string interpolation, I would like to take these two values. First number value and the second number value. The addition of first number value and second number value is I would like to represent addition of these both the values. Then how can we call this function? Now let me show you. So now we can call the function directly by using function name. I'm passing the value 34,000, 5,600. Now, in this case, Whatever the two values we have supplied over here, this value will be storing in the first number variable. This value will store in the second number variable. From there, we can able to represent the result over here. Now call this function here. Now we can see the result. The addition of 34,000 and 5,600 is okay 39,600. So we can able to see the result. Suppose if you want to perform the operations of multiplication, then we can do here. I'm representing the result also. How can we do that? We can now let me show you with the practical. Now, now I want to prepare a function. Function multiply. I want to pass three parameters here. Now the first number, the second number, third number. Now I would like to represent the result. Console.log multiplication result is, I would like to do that. First number into second number into third number. Just give me a minute, I will be back. Now, so in this case, I'm preparing a function with the name multiply, which will be having this three input values. Now, based on the input values which you are going to supply, it will perform the respective operation over here. Now, I would like to call the function multiply. I'm passing the value 3450, 1290, and then 8400. I'm passing these three values here. Now, these three values I would like to collect. I want to multiply them. I would like to represent the result here. Then how can we do this? Okay, now let's see with the practical use case. Now, let me execute this piece of code. Now we can see the result. The multiplication result is whatever the values that we have supplied, based on these values, it is going to be representing these results also. Now, so that here we can able to prepare your own JavaScript function, and then we can able to pass the required parameters. We can supply the values. We can execute that functionality. We can represent the result as well. That facility is available. This is the first syntax. Okay, with both parameterized, non-parameterized both. Second one. Second example. Next one. Then how can we do this operation? Okay, now let's see. Example 2, second example. Then how can we use this JavaScript in order to perform the operations? Okay, we'll see. By using second syntax. What is the second syntax over here? Let me show you that second syntax. Here what we have to do, we have to define a variable. Constant, variable name equals to function, and we can specify parameters. And here we can write the statements. What are the business logics that you want? We can able to write the business logic. Constant, variable name equals to function, and then we can specify the parameters over here, and then write the statement. What are the statements that you want? We can able to write inside. It's your choice to write that statements whatever you want.
Here can you
Now, let's see how can we do that. Constant, I'm defining a variable name over here. I'm going to be defining the variable name in order to implement this functionality. Then how can we do that? We can now, let's see, constant. So now show message equals to function. I'm not passing any parameters over here. Here we can write the business logic. I want to represent console.log. Now here I would like to represent the message. Welcome to JavaScript functions. Welcome to JavaScript functions here. I'm representing some more message. Console.log. This function will return the result into a variable. Or else we can say this a function will store the results inside a variable here. Now, this is the function here, which is a non-parameterized. Okay, it's not parameterized, it's a non-parameterized. Now I would like to call this. How can we call? Simply we can able to use that variable name, which is show message. That's it. Whenever we are going to be invoking this function name, that means variable name, automatically this function will be getting called over here, which will be returning this, okay, which will be printing this message. Now we can able to see the result. So whenever we are using this variable name, automatically the function will get called, which will be executing the statements, whatever we have prepared, it will represent the results on your browser log file. This is the second part. Whenever we are representing that results, this is the second part. This is the second syntax of your JavaScript functions. Now here, I would like to show you one more, like as parameterized. How can we do that? Let me show you. I'm creating one more function. Constant, I would like to specify division equals to function of pass the parameters here. I want to pass the parameters. Or else I would like to represent. For example, check equals to function of I'm passing two values over here. Like I would like to specify the first name, or I would like to specify I want to compare the two values over here. Second name. I want to represent. I would like to check if the first name value is equals to second name. Then I would like to show the message. Console.log, both the names are identical. else console.log both names are different. I would like to pass two values over here, two string values we need to pass. Whatever the two names are available, I would like to compare both the values. If both are identical, I would like to show some message, or else if both are different, I would like to show some message. Now, then how can we call? Check equals. Here we can pass a value here, like as for example, welcome, and then okay, hello. These are the two strings I'm passing. So over here, it will be comparing both, whether both are equals or not. Let's click on okay, save. Now it is indicating the result. Both names are different. Okay, both the names are different. For example, here also I'm passing the welcome, but here W is small. Once I click on save, it is indicating both the names are okay different. Now this welcome is different. This welcome is different over here. Now, for example, if I'm using this triple equals, then let's see. Both the names are also different. Both are working like a same. Both are working like a same. For example, if I'm using single equals, let's see. Both the names are identical. Both are identical over here. Now here in this case, whenever we are going to be using the single equals for the comparison, then it will be using text comparison. Suppose if I'm using double equals, it will use a binary comparison over here. In that case, it will show both the names are different. Now, this is how we can able to pass the values and we can able to check the functionalities as well. Depends upon the requirement, we can implement this. This is the second way of preparing the syntaxes for your JavaScript functions. I will show you text comparison, binary comparison. This is a text binary comparison. For a text comparison, how to write single equals here. Here the same conditions we need to write. But instead of double equals, you can use single equals. Okay, now it is
Sir,
indicating the
what about triple equals, sir?
now triple equals also working like a same. Triple equals also same. Like as we say equals function over there, like as in our JavaScript.
Okay, okay.
Now, so now here we are using this as single equals. We are going to be using double equals also over here. Depends upon your requirement. We can able to represent these values. Now, this is the second syntax in order to prepare the JavaScript functions. Next, one more syntax that is called as arrow functions. Example 3, third example. Let me go to the Visual Studio Code Editor. I'm removing this. So now I would like to prepare arrow function. Here we can specify constant variable name equals to, we are using the help of these parameters over here. Parameters. And then arrow we can specify. That means whatever the parameters we have specified based on this, if the values has been stored inside the variable, here we can able to check the condition. Write the statements. What are the logics that you want, we can able to write inside this. Now, so in this case, how can we do that? Okay, now let me show you with the practical use case. How can we implement this functionality? Now let me show you. I'm defining a JavaScript function without parameter and with a parameter both. constant show message equals to. Now here, I don't want to pass any values over here, non-parameterized. Simply I'm indicating an arrow symbol. We can write the statement. Console.log welcome to JavaScript functions. And then console.log, this is a demo on arrow functions. This is a demo on arrow functions. Then how can we call this function? Now let's see. Just you can specify show message. Whatever the function we have prepared, whatever the variable in which you are storing the result, just you can able to call that variable name. Like as a function name, it will be executing this. So depends upon the function name, we can able to execute it and we can see the results as well. Now let's see the second one. One more. How to prepare a parameterized function. How to prepare a parameterized function. Now let's see. Now constant, I would like to specify constant. I want to represent that message over here inside a variable. Now I would like to specify, now I want to indicate check equals. Check equals to, here I would like to pass the values. First name, comma, last name. I'm indicating an arrow function. Here I can write the business logic. If the first name is equals to second name, so the last name, I would like to show the message alert box. Both the names are identical. Else alert box, both the names are different. Now I'm calling this function. So now this function will be representing some alert messages. So now whatever the two values we have supplied, if both the values are similar, it will be representing okay, both the names are identical, or else it will show the message both are different. Now I would like to call that function check equals. Check equals of I'm passing the value India, I capital, second one India, I small here. Both I'm passing. Now here it is indicating both the names are identical. Both the names are identical. Now suppose here if I'm indicating both. Now if I'm indicating here, like for example, if I'm using double equals, here I'm giving same like as I small. Now it is indicating both the names are different. Both the names are different. If I'm using this single equals, now it is indicating both the names are identical because here it is not considering the case. It is not considering the case because it is using text comparison. That's what here it will be showing the message both are same. Capital I, small I, both are same. But when you go to the passwords, password should be comparing with the exact character. So we have to use binary comparison internally. In that case here, we can use the help of double equals. Now it is indicating both the names are different. So capital I is different, small I is different because their ASCII codes are different. Already we know in Apex programming here. So here also the similar kind of functionality over here. So now whatever the capital I and the small I that we have, both are having two different ASCII codes are available. That's what both the names are completely different over here. Now, this is how we can able to implement our own JavaScript function by using these three syntaxes. All the three syntaxes are very, very important over here. As part of your Lightning framework, we are using all these three syntaxes also. All the three syntaxes we are going to be using in our JavaScript programming as part of Lightning framework. So these three syntaxes are very, very important. Now, so do the practice on these features today here. Tomorrow I will show you where we can use these functions and then how to write the business logic, how to invoke from by using this button controls. I will show you with practical. Okay. Now, thank you. Thanks for your time. Let's meet on tomorrow morning at same time. And then tomorrow we'll be spending some more time because we are entering into okay ARA programming back. We are going back to the ARA programming. There we'll see